We are having a lovely, relaxing sail. We're not going very fast at all. We are going at 1.3 knots, but that's nice. It's lovely. We've got the fishing rod out. Tilly's cooking cakes, and Hugh can't sit still.
Yeah, I'm not sitting still. Me and Eric are going to have a play, aren't we?
What's that?
Well, we've got it out once before, and basically, the boat came with a spinnaker. It's got some rips in it, so we can take them up. Anyway, we're going to see what happens when we hoist this at the mast.
Esperance is a fore and aft sloop-rigged cutter. That means her sails are mounted in line with the hull, which is great when the wind is on the beam, i.e. it's coming from the side, but when the wind is behind us, right behind us, we don't have an easy time of it. An old-fashioned square-rigged pirate ship would be much better because their sails are perpendicular to the wind. We do have another option, however. We can use a spinnaker pole and a spinnaker sail. We can angle this lightweight sail, much like a kite, right in front of the boat to catch as much of the wind as possible. Today is the first day ever that we have flown Esperance's spinnaker.
Look at this! We did it, and everyone's working together. Tilly's on leeward, or whatever that is, downwind. Eric's on windward. Kelly's putting away the Genoa.
Starboard cleated.
Darcy's on watching.
Starboard cleated.
Starboard's cleated off, is it? Okay, we're going to have to adjust it in a minute, but we'll get Mum to get the Genoa away. 5 go sailing. How fast are we going?
1.7. We were doing half a knot before.
We tripled our speed. We arrived at an anchorage. This is where Andy used to live. Remember Andy, who used to help us at Hailing Island? We were putting in some miles this week as there was some bad weather coming, so we needed to make way whilst the going was good. We didn't leave the boat for days, just got up, sailed, anchored and repeat.
There's another contender for the nicest man in Spain. We keep meeting really nice Spanish men who just can't do enough for us. Hugh's been talking to this guy called Jesus.
He texted us all yesterday because we said we might go to his marina, and then we decided not to go to his marina because we'd stay on anchor and we didn't have to motor for another 2 hours. We've got up this morning, we've done 2 hours motoring now, and we're just going to stop in to get some diesel. And I didn't, on the chart, he said he didn't have diesel, but he texted me and goes, no, I have diesel, come here, it's cheaper, it's better value. And he said, I'll give you some directions, suggestions where you should go next. So he's going to do that. Nice. So we'll go and meet Jesus.
We know you don't pronounce it like that. In Spanish, you don't pronounce the J, but that's how it reads, and it makes for a better story. We arrived in Gijon, and as their diesel pontoon was tight in the corner, we decided to reverse onto it, just at the exact moment the wind decided to pick up. It was a bit close, and we almost collided with immigration. Jesus got a bit worried and phoned us up, a little concerned.
Oh, that was hilarious. Jesus just phoned us because it's the first one we've had all day, and Hugh's taking it slowly trying to get in, and he said, be careful of immigration, they've got weapons. Nailed it.
And here he is, Jesus, one of the nicest men in Spain. So helpful. If we hadn't been trying to outrun the bad weather, we would have stayed at his marina. But this was just a short pit stop. We have been living on this stuff since Miriam shared her secret recipe with us. We also took the opportunity to have a quick safety briefing with the children about orcas.
Guys, can we have a quick chat about something?
Yeah.
You know, we've been talking, me and Mum talking to other grown-ups, you guys have overheard a bit about the orca whales. Yeah? What do you know about it?
They eat our propeller.
Eat our propeller?
No, they eat dolphins.
They eat dolphins. So they are having fun at the minute, playing with boats, and they think it's really entertaining. Do you understand? Okay. They are not interested in attacking humans. They're not interested in us in particular. They just think it's a fun game to pass the time. The problem is they weigh 5 tons, sometimes more. Okay, which is maybe 5,000 kilograms. It's quite heavy. All right. So they think they're playing, and for us that could be a slight problem.
5,000 kilograms.
Yeah.
5 megagrams. 5 tons.
Yeah. So that could be an issue because they can break boats. Now our boat is much bigger than most of the boats they've broken or they've played with before, so we're not too worried, okay? But we are just telling you now in case we have what's called an interaction, which is when they come to play with our boat and come and see us. All right? Now most of the boats, the people that see the orcas don't actually get involved. They go past and they might go, what are you doing, and then swim away or something, or they might just come and have a little nibble for a minute or bash the boat and then swim off again. Right? But there's also a possibility, and it's very, very unlikely, that they do start trying to play with our rudder. right? So if this happens, we're not worried about the boat's not going to sink, okay? And none of us are going to get threatened by the orcas.
Saying don't panic then.
Exactly, and it's actually going to be quite interesting. I would love to see them. They're incredible animals, okay? And they're also endangered, okay? They're not being well looked after by humans, are they? All right? But we do just need to do a couple of rules, and that's what I want to talk to you about now, okay? If we see the orcas, I don't want you to deprive you guys from seeing them, okay? But also you need to be aware that I'm going to be focusing on safety things at the time to make sure that we stay safe, all right? And so is Mummy. So this is the rules. If we do see the orcas, you guys are allowed in the cockpit with your life jackets on, but you have to stay with your feet on the grill. 1, you're not allowed to come out the cockpit, okay? 2, you're not allowed to make lots of noise and shout, okay? And 3, you just have to keep out of the way of Mum and Dad. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay? So this is not something to be worried about, but it's something it's like if bad weather comes or any of the other things that can happen at sea. Yeah, someone falls overboard, all these things, we've just got to be careful.
It's like how some people put like burglar alarms just in case a burglar comes or something like
That sort of thing. Couple of things to bear in mind. The one thing that they do, if they hit the rudder really hard or they play with the rudder, it's going to make our wheels spin really around. Okay? Now I don't know if you guys ever put your hands in here, but if they did that, it can knock your hands, all right? So one thing to do is stay away from the steering wheel.
When the orcas are here.
If the orcas are here. Basically what you guys can do is just stay in the cockpit and just watch, all right?
Okay.
Mum and me may need to go downstairs quickly or upstairs quickly.
To stand on the
So
edge.
keeping away from the ramp, from the steps, and also swinging on the roof is just not, that would be the worst time to do that, wouldn't it? Yeah? Okay. There are 2 things we are going to do, Mum and me have got to remember to do, and you can help remind Mum and me, can't you? One of the things is we turn the engine on, yeah, if it's not already on.
Then
And we
the
turn,
propeller might hurt them.
well, the propeller would still only be like a very small knife to them. It's not big, yeah? They are big animals. Number 2 is the autopilot needs to be turned off. Because one thing they can do, the most likely damage they'll do to us is break our autopilot. Okay, and we'd like to keep that working.
Break and off.
Yeah, they'd hit the rudder so hard the ram wouldn't cope with the pressure. I'm just going through my WhatsApp thread from Jesus. Another one. He sent me so many messages. He says, "Hi, Jesus Marina Yates here." And he just sent me loads of pictures of his time, his visit to this place, and saying we should definitely go there. Yeah, he showed me like an aerial photo of the marina with arrows, showing me where to go. It's not even his marina, it's someone else's. And he's booked me a berth. He's phoned them up for me.
And then we got stopped by immigration.
These guys have made quite a severe course change. They've gone around the back of us. I think it's because we were sailing. Either that or they're actually coming to see us. Hola, this is Esperance, over.
Hello, Esperance. This is the Spanish patrol boat from Customs. What is your next port of call, please?
Hello, yes, we are just making some plans at the moment. We are deciding as we go along. But give me a moment and I will find the name we were looking at possibly going to tonight. Over.
Okay, how many crew on board, please?
It's myself, my wife, and we have 3 children.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hello again. I believe we are looking at going to a place called Cudillero. Cuglero. Over.
Thank you very much, Roger. Don't worry about it.
New one for us. Customs are coming to check on us, but I think they're basically just doing routine checks.
Esperance, Spanish Custom boats, don't worry about. Feel free for sail and see you.
This is the boat we nearly bumped into earlier when we were in the marina.
We've since found out that this stretch of coastline is notorious for drug running, so it is heavily patrolled. Apparently, if you see a fishing boat with brand new gear that's never been used, that's a dead giveaway. We were probably just a box-ticking exercise.
The Battle of Stamford Bridge was a very bloody one. Lots of people were horribly killed, including Harold's grumpy little brother, Tostig. But also hulking Harold Hardrada. What a result for
Homeschool History Podcast, one of our favourite things when sailing.
Go down to autopilot calibration.
Yep, I'm on that now. Yep, okay.
Okay, go to vessel settings.
Yep, in vessel settings.
Hugh took the opportunity to phone the Ray Marine Help Desk, as our autopilot seems to be making far more adjustments than needed. Customer support were fantastic, and it's working much better now. We arrived at another of the anchorages recommended by Jesus, and it was stunning. Here is the voicemail that he sent us about it.
Okay, so this an incredible beach. It's like it's so clear water, so calm, so safe at night, so protected.
This place is called Concha de Artarido.
I want to go swimming here.
And that's what we did.
Darcy, jump in.
This was huge. She has never been brave enough before, so we were all extra happy. And then another nicest man in Spain turned up, this time on a jet ski, and he took Hugh and Tilly for a ride.
Oh, Tilly's driving! Land is just there, yet we are still in 86 litres of water.
89 including the boat.
Ideally, we want to be in under 40 metres of water, as orca attacks are less likely. But it's near impossible on this stretch of coastline.
Oh, look out.
That's my mama's lately food.
We arrived at our next anchorage, Vivero, put the kids to bed and caught up with friends online.
Firmly closed against the unreasonable chill. With a slight shiver, the Prime Minister got up and moved over to...
That's a weird camera.
Just say hello.
There you go. Just say hello. There you go, right. You're now going to be on a Fargo sailing video, mate.
The next day we had to wait out a bit of bad weather. We got swung all over the place, but it gave us time to get some more orca prep done.
So, yesterday, or the day before, Kel and I discussed with Eric and Tilly about the possibility of having a visit from some large dolphins, didn't we? And how they like to nibble rudders. And we're making a plan. So everything, I feel like we're prepared in all aspects for this to happen, if it does happen. But one thing we were talking about was saying, well, if the rudder was broken and we couldn't use it, what would we do and how would we steer the boat? And we're going to be close to shore, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we're probably just going to end up phoning the rescue people to go and help us.
Yeah.
Yeah? But we thought it would be quite a good fun adventure whilst it's a rainy day outside and while we can't do very much. We are having a little plan and think about jury rudders, aren't we?
Yeah.
What's a jury rudder?
It's a type of rudder that looks like an oar.
Well, it can look like anything you want it to look like, but the point is it's jury, which means it's temporary, and we make it with whatever materials we've got to hand. So we're talking about how we would make a temporary oar that sticks out the back of the boat for steering out of a spinnaker pole,
Yeah.
aren't we? And how we could tie it to the back of the boat and basically drag it along behind us in the water, and then use some lines, ropes, to control the angle which we drag it and therefore steer the boat. So we started doing pictures, haven't we? First off, we did a picture of
How the water moves.
how the water moves, yeah, and then how the normal rudder works, yes.
Yeah, how the normal rudder works. And then over here we did something where
This is our plan, isn't it?
So what it's going to do is we're going to put the spinnaker pole here,
Yeah.
and then we're going to tie 2 ropes off it and attach them to these
The winches in the cockpit, yeah.
in the cockpit. And then here,
This is what it looks like from side profile, isn't it?
so this is the
Solar
solar
arch.
panel arch,
Yeah.
and we're going to so there's going to be a pole, and we're going to try it without the the
paddle to start with. We
paddle
said we'd have
first.
just a bare pole to start with.
Yeah, and then if that won't really work, we're going to add a thing.
A paddle to it, yeah.
Paddle, and we might add a little weight.
Which can just be, literally that paddle could just be like a board from the bottom of your
Yes,
bed,
little
or a bit of, I've got
board.
lots of scrap wood, haven't I? Yeah?
And then we're going to use that.
We might need a weight
Might
to
need a
make it
weight.
lift down the water, because I haven't got much to attach to on the back of the boat for
So we
downhaul.
were going to also get a rope and attach it to the top of the soda.
It's all very Heath Robinson. Like my hair, I've got a peg, but it's not quite done it all. So, it's pretty Heath, but we're getting there. There's also a helicopter taking off, so be excited about that. It might happen any moment. On the Orca PT website, Rue, who's organised it, Rue's amazing, big shout out to him, done a huge amount of work over the last year plus, helping sailors connect, big Telegram and WhatsApp type groups. Rue put together a website. He's documenting the position of all these attacks and interactions and sightings, sticking on loads of advice and things like that. And one of the things on there was an article from Yachting Monthly about how to steer without a rudder. These two lads from Cowes went out, I say lads, probably older than me, but they took the rudder off their boat, towed it out into the Solent and spent the day messing around with jewellery rigs trying to steer the boat, steering just sailing with the sails, which they just about managed, but obviously as soon as there was any swell they said that was difficult. And then also at the end of the article had like loads of examples of people who had actually been out in the Atlantic Ocean or wherever and got stranded and how they got home. And the one we got here, these guys did a 300-mile passage with the spinnaker pole hanging off the back with two lines just like this. Topping lift, two lines. None of this is ideal. This situation's all about making do if the worst should happen, and we're never going to be more than, you know, a couple of hours tops from a safe haven when this happens. That's part of the route we're taking and what we've been planning for, staying safe. So this is just about the worst case scenario, I suppose, is that our rudder breaks and we can't use it as inoperable, but we phone up safety, services, and they say, well, the boat's safe, you're safe, we're not going to come and help you. And that's a realistic possibility. It takes a lot of manpower, a lot of effort to get people out to help us, and it might be a nice calm day and the boat's just bobbing and we're like, okay, how do we get back? But with this, for example, this bay is really big and open, and if this works and gives us even a reasonable sense of like a degree of a decent heading, then we could have probably come into this bay and dropped anchor with this, and that would have been pretty cool. And then we'd have plenty of time to find another cruiser, maybe another yacht who could come and help us out and give us a tow or whatever, and buy them some drinks.
The following morning, we could put it to the test. But first we had to deal with a rag that had knotted itself around the anchor chain and clean all the mud off the anchor as we pulled it up.
How's that gone? Like, that must have landed on it when the chain was slack for that section. So, we've got the anchor up, we're off, we're leaving Bavaria, whatever it's called, we've never been there. And
These solar panels in.
solar panels need to come in, and they're just on the way out now. It looks pretty flat. We're just going to have a little play with this steering over here. Good. Kelly's just giving me an order to turn to the right. I think she meant starboard. I'm going to put that order in for her. I think a bit more resistance, so block on the end of the paddle.
We are definitely turning.
It's working. I think we could do. Wow, I look like a monk with hair down the sides. Yeah, it's turning. We're doing a big arc. Try putting a tiny bit more speed on. We need to make some improvements. I think I need to rig the steering lines lower, so I get the pole lower in the water, because as the boat moves, the pole's coming up, which is what I talked about downhaul, but I think I can do that without a downhaul, or we put a weight on the end, or we put the drogue on the end of the pole. But I can 100% see it working. Like it has, we've done a big corner, right out here. Like a very slow corner, Like, it's only the same as having a tiny bit of control on the rudder. But we could 100% steer a course. Okay, so it needs a bit of modification, and ideally we'd do that in flat conditions like this before we get attacked. But today, however, we've got a lot of bad wind coming. You should see the forecast on Windy app. It looks pretty bad, and we said this might be our last chance to get to Acarona, where there's a lot more marinas, a lot of places, a lot of choices, and also where some friends are. So we're going to go out, stick our nose out, have a look. If it's too bad, we'll come back here and hunker down in this expensive marina. But let's try and get out, shall we?
Looking back, I am so glad that we went for it. The passage was lumpy, but we endured. And there were others out sailing too, so we weren't the only mad ones.
After 150 miles of motoring, we are finally sailing, and it is lovely and beautiful, glorious, and we are nearly at our destination. Oh, motoring for days and weeks. Now we get a stiff breeze and we can sail. Oh, too much sailing. We've got like 2 reefs in the Genoa, 3 reefs in the main, and the jibs out. That's our 16 knots. Goes up to 20. The boat is water nice and flat. We are flying along.
We've completed Biscay. It's only taken us 7 weeks, 8 weeks, but we're finally out of Biscay. It's very exciting. Bypass. We bypassed Biscay.
This is what's so bizarre about sailing. Like, we're coming into Sada now, and it is just beautiful and peaceful. Me and Darcy are getting ready to drop the anchor, and it's just serene, lovely. And only a few hours ago, we were like, felt like beating and working, and the waves, 3-meter waves, and the boat was just flapping around. It was so uncomfortable. And then we just had a sail for the last 2 hours with the wind on the beam, force 4, and the boat was just flying along, and it was great. But again, loads of power, loads of energy. And here we are sailing downwind. Literally, I've just left the main up with a couple of reefs in it. I'm going to sail right onto the anchor, drop the anchor, and then come head into wind, do it without the engine, which is a lovely thing to do. And it's just serene and peaceful.
We made it to Sada. Little did we know that this was our last sail for a month. And as you will see in the next video, there was no better place to be trapped.